George Sanker is a teacher in Charlottesville, Virginia. Throughout his career in public and private schools, he's wrestled with the purpose of education.
I think one of the tensions in our culture today is we have adopted an instrumental view of education that views education as a means to an end that is really tied to the good life as having the house, the car, the stuff, the comforts. Whether it's public or private, it's all about how does education promote the economy. It isn't about teaching, it isn't about forming students, it's about getting them through the system. I would contrast that with what I would say is a more holistic view of education. At the core is a sense of wisdom. It's beautiful when you go to 1 Kings 4:29, and it mentions that Solomon's wisdom is rooted in his understanding of the order of God's creation. So to study math and literature and history and science and the fine arts, and to see how they overlap, to see how studying this subject ties to this subject. This is really about cultivating wisdom in students. How do we teach Christianly? What does it mean to be a Christian teacher? And it means embodying Christ in that classroom. Okay, that sounds great. What do you mean by that? You're helping students re-narrate the purpose of studying this subject. That's more than just an instrumental end. So we're teaching Spanish, for example, a Spanish class. Most of the textbooks you're going to look at are going to look at Spanish language through the lens of tourists. So the examples that are given are all about traveling to some country, buying things, shopping, and seeing certain sites. And I'm asking us to reframe that. Why do we learn Spanish? And let's look at our examples through the lens of hospitality rather than through tourism. So I'm in the Spanish class. Why should we take Spanish? Most of the kids answer, well, it may help me with the SATs or down south. I can use Spanish and fit in better. Those are all legitimate points. But I think we should take Spanish because right here in Charlottesville, we have a large Hispanic community. And God has called us to hospitality, to love our neighbors. And the only way that we can love these Hispanic neighbors well is to speak their language. That's why we take Spanish. You can do this in multiple contexts. The example I just shared about, why should we learn Spanish? You can use that in any setting. Without using the name of Christ, I worked in an urban charter school. A charter school is a public school that is funded by the state, but parents have the choice to go to it. So here I am trying to, in many ways in my mind, bring common grace to a secular setting. I can't promote the gospel directly in a public school, but I can build practices in the school. We're not allowed to pray before meals, but I did make sure that we put tablecloths on the table. The students sat down. They were not allowed to eat until everyone at their table sat, and they sang a song together as a group. So I had to think through very carefully, what are ways that I can bring a sense of humanity